This video response is going to go out to Rebecca Felgate, and that's because you uploaded a video entitled Top 10 Things You Wish You Knew as a Teenager, Part 2. Now, I will admit, I have not watched Part 1 yet. However, I did watch this part, and I'm going to now give you my commentary on this particular video. Okay? So I did watch your video, and now I'm going to give you my commentary. Are you ready? I agree that homework is very important. Just ask anyone about Andy Putzer. If you've not heard about Andy Putzer, I will leave a hyperlink to my discussion of Andy Putzer right down here in the description below. Okay, so you can see that. All right. If you don't want to end up in an occupation that requires a lot of manual labor with an employer who will pay you less than you deserve, then you will do your homework. This should be your primary motivation to excel in your studies. Fortunately, the material on my YouTube channel will assist you in doing your homework. Okay? Empty-headed social media is a waste of time. I will grant you that. Part of your future paycheck will depend on the social media you consume right now. Funny kitten and puppy videos will fill your cranium with serotonin and elevate your mood, that's true, but it won't earn you any more money. As a matter of fact, it's a quick path to the unemployment line. If you don't believe me, ask some people on the unemployment line. They'll tell you. Okay? Participating in social media conversations can raise your communication skills. But, and I say again, but, you will only achieve this if you communicate with intelligent people. And that's a fact. My videos can assist you with acquiring good grammar and vocabulary. If you need good grammar skills, if you need good vocabulary, you can watch my videos and you will acquire both. That is true. And they can train you in articulating your arguments effectively. If you're wanting to debate somebody effectively, and I'll say that again, if you want to debate somebody effectively, learn from my channel. Okay? I agree that you should eat healthier. And I'll say that again. I agree with you that you should eat healthier. We both agree on this one. It will improve your GPA, and proper exercise will also improve your GPA. I'm not kidding you. So, eat healthy, exercise regularly, and your GPA will go up. That is an absolute truth. Okay? Now, I kind of got a kick out of this one. Really? Teachers are just trying to do their jobs? Some are, I'll grant you that, but not all of them do. Some teachers are there just to earn a paycheck. This is absolutely true. I have seen such teachers. I have worked with such teachers. I'm telling you, that's true. If they weren't teachers, they would probably be performing manual labor for an employer who probably wouldn't be paying them a proper wage for their services. So, to avoid that, they became a teacher. I'm not sure that was exactly a good trade-off on that part, but anyway. Some teachers, not all, because I know a few good teachers, I really do, but some teachers are there for the sole reason of showing off their intelligence. They don't care if the kids learn anything, they're just there to show off their intelligence. That's all they're there for. It's kind of stupid, but it's true. They just want to impress you. And they do impress you all right, but they don't help you any. Teachers that just want to earn a paycheck and teachers that just want to impress you, they are not good teachers. So, if your teacher is there, and they're not just there to earn a paycheck, and they're not just there to impress you with their intelligence, they're probably a pretty good teacher. Okay? Now, I say this very cautiously. The next thing I'm going to say is I'm going to say this very cautiously. Don't be afraid to ask your teacher about their academics, but you don't want to be so straightforward about it. You want to be a little coy. You want to be, and I'll say this like this. Do so, go ahead and ask in a respectful and kind way. You don't want to bombard your teacher. The last thing you want to do is create an enemy in your classroom, especially if that enemy ends up being your teacher. You do not want to do that. There are lots of respectful and kind ways and coy ways to ask your teacher about their academics without bombarding them with it. That's not a good thing, okay? Maybe what you could do, if it's mathematics, you could say, okay, this is cool mathematics. Is there any source material to this mathematics? Let's say you're dealing with matrices. You can ask the teacher, who invented matrices, that kind of thing. And by asking questions like that, you can kind of get a sense of what kind of academics that they have. If they're really smart, they'll tell you the source material they get it from. If not, well, they may not be as smart as they'd like for you to think they are. So, but again, like I said, you don't want to go up to a teacher and say, I want to know who taught you. No, you don't do it. You don't do it that way. That's not proper. That's not ethical, and it can create more problems than it's worth. So don't be so assertive with your questioning. There are coy ways to ask teachers about their academics without bombarding them. I assure you of that. Okay? And if you need to know good questions to ask, you can ask me, and I will tell you things that you could ask a teacher that wouldn't be so offensive to them. Okay? Now then. Now, again, I say, it's not a good idea to offend your teacher. Even if you're not particularly fond of your teacher, you don't want to offend them. Remember, they partially control your future income. Let me tell you something. You get on the bad side of a teacher, and you don't learn what you need to learn now, it could affect your future income later. And that's not a good thing. Okay? If you discover that your teacher has not acquired good academics, then learn what you can from me. Then use that information to acquire the information you feel you're not acquiring from your teacher. In other words, instead of confronting your teacher, literally bypass your teacher. Your teacher doesn't have to know where you're getting your higher academics. That's none of your teacher's business. Okay? So, don't be confrontational with a teacher. Just bypass them. Let me know what's going on and I'll help you. Or at least I'll help you to the best of my abilities. Okay? In this day and age, you don't have to challenge your teacher to acquire the education you need. Years ago, you just kind of had to rely on your teacher. Nowadays, you can turn to places like right here on this YouTube channel. And you get all the help you need without offending your teacher. There's no reason to be confrontational with your teacher. None at all. Okay? Now, I agree that being a jerk will cost you future employment. That's true. You won't develop good communication skills. And in this day and age, you need good communication skills in order to hold on to a job. That is true. You will also develop a bad reputation. When you got that bad reputation, it's hard to shake it off. I'm not kidding you. And then you'll end up at a certain point where hardly anybody will want to spend time with you because you're a jerk. That's true. And, like I said, you may find yourself in a non-rewarding career. This could lead to a poor future social life. Let me tell you something. Nobody wants to date somebody that's constantly broke. It doesn't work that way. It could destroy your relationship with your spouse, if you even get a spouse. Let's say you get a spouse. Well, fine. You may not hold on to him very long. And if you do manage to hang on to your spouse long enough, it could destroy your relationship with any future children that you may have. And that's a fact. Now, not being socially accepted in school can lead to poor communication skills. That is true. It can lead to social anxiety disorder and depression. And you don't want either one of those medical conditions. You really don't. It could also lead to a lifetime of regret. That is also true. However, appeasing your peers is not exactly the answer. And I'll say that again. Trying to appease your peers is not always going to be the best solution. As a matter of fact, usually it's not going to be the best solution. Okay? So what is the solution? Learning is your answer. Anything you learn from me will ultimately improve your social status in school. And I'll show you how. It will enable you to join more school clubs. You'll develop a broader range of interests. It will raise your GPA and gain you the respect of many of your teachers. If you gain the respect of your teachers, you won't need so much respect from your peers. Because now you'll be able to talk to your teachers instead of your peers. And it goes on. If you get the respect of your teachers, there's a good chance that what I teach here and the learning you're doing could also gain you a promotion to higher grades in school. For example, if you're currently a freshman in school, if your academics suddenly rise, you could quickly find yourself being promoted to becoming a sophomore or a junior, maybe even a senior in high school. They may just promote you all the way to the top. And if that happens, it could place you in an entirely different social circle. Because if you're no longer a freshman anymore and say you're now a sophomore, well, you're going to be among your sophomore peers instead of your freshman peers. And maybe they don't know you as well as your freshman peers do. That could broaden your social circle and give you a chance to interact with other people. So it's a very good idea to, instead of appeasing your current peers, to learn what you can and broaden your social circle. See what I mean? Now then, despite what you said in your video, exams are very vital to your future income. This is absolutely true. And if you don't believe me, refer again to Andy Pudser, which I have left a discussion of Andy Pudser. I left a link. Well, I call it a hyperlink, which is the correct term. I left a hyperlink down here in the description below so you can see that discussion. Okay? The higher the scores, the less manual labor you will have to do. And let me tell you something. You do enough manual labor, you're going to appreciate what I'm doing for you. So saying that exams aren't that important is totally false. That's ridiculous. But the thing is, I'm here to help you with your exams. I really am. The first step is to learn how to speed read and to learn advanced memory skills. I demonstrate both of those skills on my YouTube channel. And if you're one of my particular students and you know someone who is impoverished, I admonish you to share the skills you've learned from me with your impoverished friends. You can share my videos with them. You can share any of the materials I've recommended on this channel, so on and so forth. Whatever you want to do, share that with them. Okay? Remember, they will remain impoverished unless you share my skills with them. That's the only way they get out. I know there's other people that will tell you otherwise, but I'm telling you, the best way to get them out of that situation is to share the skills that I have shared with you with them. And let me ask you something. Do you really want your impoverished friends to just remain impoverished for the rest of their lives? Is that what you really want? I wouldn't. So what I share with you, I would like and I would appreciate it if you share with them. Okay? Whatever it takes. Now, having said all that, I will say this. Never cram for an exam. That should be a catchphrase. I don't know what you call it as catchphrase, but it should be. Never cram for an exam. That's a much better catchphrase than be cool, stay in school. Okay, that was an old television ad from long ago. Okay? And no, it is not cool to stay in school. It is cool to get educated, but it's not cool to stay in school. There's a big difference. Okay? And if you cram for exams in college, you could literally flunk out of college. You could make your situation worse by cramming than by doing what I tell you to do. And yes, you are expected to be good at everything if you don't want to work manual labor for low wages for the rest of your life. So that's another lie. You don't want to work manual labor for the rest of your life. You'll get good at everything. But I will say that the primary focus of being good at everything would be you need to be just as good and articulate with your verbal capabilities, which would mean all your language skills. You really need to be excellent at this, as well as your mathematical skills. You need to have sharp mathematical skills. Don't be afraid to learn medical terminology. As a matter of fact, I'd recommend it considering the fact of what the health insurance situation is right now. You really do need to know your medical terms. You really do. And learning Braille won't hurt you. Shoot, learning sign language won't hurt you. Learning shorthand won't hurt you. The more skills you have, the less chance you'll have of entering manual labor or staying there for a lengthy period of time. And that's a fact. If you acquire the skills I present on my YouTube channel, you will have more than enough time for hobbies. And you should have hobbies. No question about it. And I agree that hobbies are good ways of developing good communication skills. They will also help you They will also help you develop other mental and physical skills that will help you in a future career. Sorry, I had to turn the page fast enough. I'm sorry. I agree that you don't have to like what everyone else likes. That's true. And the smarter you become, the less likely you will like what everyone else likes. In life, you will either be a leader or a follower. I will say that again. In life, you will either be a leader or a follower. I recommend that you play the Lemmings video game before you take this part of my advice. Never be a lemming. If you don't comprehend what that means, you can ask me and I will tell you. Now, me personally, I would examine the lives of the people you want to like you before you change your life to appease them. And this is the reason why. They may not have the greatest qualities. Why are you trying to appease people that have qualities that you don't particularly like, that you're not particularly fond of? Think about it. It's true, you may be able to change enough things in your life to cause these people to actually finally like you. However, they may one day stab you in the back at the first opportunity as well. So think about this. You go to the effort, you finally get these people to like you, and then one day, somehow you manage to tick them off, and then they turn on you like vultures. Then you've done all that life-changing for no reason whatsoever. And you're right back to square one. And you don't want to do that. Well, anyway, that is my commentary on this particular video. I hope that I have articulated my points effectively, and that you comprehended everything I've said, because it's very important. Alright, if you have any comments, questions, anything, feel free to leave them down here in the comments below. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.